Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night at the Art House Studio. My name is Karen Ellis, and I am very happy to be back. And it looks like Ustream is behaving so that I can do a broadcast where you can actually see and hear me, unlike the last couple of times I've tried. It was very frustrating. I have to tell you, it was extremely frustrating. I'm chatting with people in the chat, but you couldn't hear or see me. But looks like I am live. Looks like it is recording, broadcasting, and doing all the things it should be doing. So let's get going on this. I have a project in my head, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, as you know. But I really wanted to kind of combine some vinyl. And I have a deer that I have cut out. Well, Jen did it for me, of vinyl on the ScanNCut machine, and I'm going to put that on glass and in a shadow box. And the back of the shadow box, I'd like to have just like a winter scene. Now the vinyl cut is a deer, so it'll be a deer prancing on that. So very fun and good and whatever. So we're doing a winter scene. So I have some acrylic stamps here. These are from my stamp box. Let it snow. And I'm going to embed these into a very thin layer of light molding paste just to try to get a little bit of texture on my watercolor paper. This is a Fabriano watercolor paper. It's the Artistico. So it is a heavier paper. It should be able to withstand anything that I'm going to do to it. And I will take this paper and then attach it to the back of an 8x8 frame from Ikea, like this. Okay, this is a shadow box frame, so we can have some fun. All good. Jen just this is the deer. See, so that'll be good. So we'll put the deer on, and hopefully it'll work. Right, Jen? But we'll go from there. So I'm looking forward to it. Hello, Mitzi. It's very nice to see you. So I am going to take some light molding paste. This is just from Golden. I do like it. It is very light and airy, and will take impressions well. So I'm going to slather this onto the watercolor paper. Now I have not treated it. Perhaps I probably should have, but I'm not going to worry about it. Thin layer, and I know it's white on white, but you'll have to trust me that there is some there. I'm not looking for perfection here. I don't necessarily have to have a completely smooth layer of molding paste, because that's part of the texture that's going to be shown in the paint later, which is good. But I do want to have, maybe I'll cover the whole thing. There we go. And I'll put, this is good. This looks good. Maybe I'll make my lines a little more fluid so it looks a little more airy sky. Put that in some water. Oh, Jen, you found some fun ones. Here's some fun foam stamps too. I'm going to use these instead, although the acrylics would have worked just as well, and just wash them off as soon as you're done and it won't ruin the stamp. But I'm going to press this in here. These are old stamps, foam stamps from Plaid. Push it in, create some texture. Different size. Ooh, has a little bit of stuff on it still. Kind of stamping off the page here, getting whatever's on there off. There we go. That should be good. Ho, ho, ho. I'll get that. Yeah, I'm going to put this right in some water for now and clean it later. And I'm going to take a trowel and just kind of make a little bit of, I don't know, kind of popcorn marks, kind of like your popcorn ceiling. Okay, if you have an older house like me, you have like stuccoed popcorn ceilings. And I'm thinking this might make a nice little snowy texture. You can see where I had a little bit thicker. And I'm just kind of using the edge of my trowel right now to create a little bit more of a landscape. Hopefully you can see that. Jen can see that. Can you see that?
I can see that.
You can see that? Everybody say hi, Jen.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. Well, hello, Eileen. I got the well, hello, Karen. I missed you all so much. So I'm just going to give a little shot of this here. I missed you too, Eileen. You all, I missed you all. My gosh. So I can't wait to see it. I put, as I say, a very thin layer of this paste on it. I wanted it a little bit light and airy. My nothing like watching medium dry. So I am going to be using acrylics on this, as I said, not a watercolor, although watercolor would be kind of fun, but I'm not going to do that. I am using a heavier watercolor paper. It is taped down on my craft sheet, as I mentioned earlier. And I will attach it to the back of, on a board in the back of my Ikea RIBBA shadow box frame. Hello, Barb. Welcome. Hang on for the wild ride, Barb. Oh, no. I'm going to be very subdued today. Hello, Kathy. Nice to see everybody coming on. Yay! I'm back. We're almost done here. Just kind of niching away any of the flyaways, those dry flyaways. See if there's anything I need to really goose with the heat gun here. Now remember, when you're using a heat gun with molding paste, you can burn this. So you want to keep moving the heat gun around so that you're not scorching it. So if the molding paste turns brown and starts to smoke, you know, stop. Okay, just stop. Oh my gosh, you guys. Alrighty. Okay. So wintry scene. Good heavens. Like I am so not ready with paints or anything here right now, and that is not a good thing. Raw sienna might be nice. Definitely want some titanium white. These are the A2 heavy body acrylics that I'm using here. Definitely want some blue. Maybe even a touch of purple. Here's a cobalt turquoise light. I can't find all my cobalt teal is in here from the golden line that I've got there. Perhaps I'll use some fluids though too, so we'll see. I'm like almost out of my US Art Quest Perfect Pigments. I have to get some new ones. There's a Titan buff. Some silver. Okay, I grabbed some white satin pearl because that might be nice too. Don't you think? So I have kind of a line here for, I'm thinking I might use a little bit of a house stamp. I'm not sure. I have this from the darkroom door. I've used these before. It's not one I carry here at the studio, but it's one I picked up a few years ago, and it's just been in my stash for a while. But that might be nice on there. Maybe I'll use that one. Some jet black archival ink. Actually, easier if I do it this way. Make sure all of the ink is on it. So this is jet black archival, and I am just going to right on top of this flat spot here. Here we go. Nobody wanted to talk to you?
Well, it wasn't a horn, but you
I won something?
You won something.
That might work. Or your whimsical houses stance. Well, that would be fun too. Stencil would have worked. It's all good. Okay. So I am a little bit off to the races here because I'm not quite sure what I want to do. And that shouldn't shock anybody. So I'm going to take a little bit of the cobalt turquoise hue. You can hear how I've got such a little amount left. And I'm going to put a little bit of the white pearl, the white satin pearl, and get myself a little brush, or a not so little brush as the case may be. Don't like that brush. This brush I like better. And I am just going to mix those right on there. Now, this is just sprayed water. Mixy, mixy, poo. There we go. I grab a little bit of water there and then take it off. So kind of a first layer and work around. You can see how it picked up into the molding paste there. I do like that. Ooh. I'm gonna get a little bit of the, goodness, if I could open it. Oh, there we go. The cobalt turquoise hue. And I think I might actually get some, woo. Dear, 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 dear. I'm gonna have to, got a heck of a lot more of the cobalt cobalt turquoise than I anticipated. And I think I'd like a Payne's gray too. I should be in one in here. Should be a Payne's gray in here. All right, so I'm just gonna, where my shadows would be, I'm gonna get a smaller brush for heaven's sake. That would be good. Is that my open one? Yep.
Yep.
I have a Payne's gray here as well. Kind of go from there. Payne's gray, I love the Payne's gray. Oh, for heaven's sake. Sometimes these screw top lids are really annoying. Well, wouldn't you agree? Jen's like, okay, whatever, Karen's back. So I got Payne's gray here. I'm gonna add some water to my brush, make a little bit of a wash on the side, and just kind of shade this in a little. Using my finger, my favorite tool. Those lids are terrible. I like, they're horrid. I don't know why. I don't know why we have such bad lids. Let's add a little bit of water because I want to get rid of some of that. I want to make it a little more airy. Okay. Now I'm going to get some more of that white satin pearl. So this is going to turn a little bit more of a pearlescent. I do like that. Let's get that. And make this kind of where that sun's coming down. Because of that, I am going to add a little bit of a yellow or a yellow gold. Ooh, metallic light yellow would be good. This again is US Art Quest. Perfect Pigments. And just gonna kind of mix that with the white pearl. So where I've added it in one spot, I'm gonna add it in another. So I'm going to mimic, start bringing it in other places. Note my diagonal. So raw sienna. Might use a little bit of that as well. You don't like working from tubes. Tubes have their place though. Because you can't do everything with a flat paint. So all I'm doing right now is kind of giving some into my sky here. I can be pretty brutal. This is a winter scene after all. If I do it over in the corner, I'm gonna wet it. So this is, as you can tell, a very, very rough not done my layers yet, but I'm just getting some color down. Let's get some more of that blue. Can mimic something else over here. First layers. Liquitex tubes are, well, the A2 is a plastic screw as well, not just as opposed to a metal, and so it's good that way. It's just I think any thing is hard on it, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to take some of this raw sienna and put it into my house. There we go. Miss you, baby. So I hope you guys have had a good one. I've missed you. I do like my Thursdays. I think I might want to So I was a little heavy over here, so I'm just going to take some off. And by doing that, I just wet it down and then tapped it. I think I'll do the same up here. I'm not sure if this is the one I want. If I mix it, that would be good. I'm going to mix some of this cadmium yellow medium with the gold. Still not enough. Add some white. Actually, I'm going to add some Titan Buff, see what happens. I wanted a little more butterier. That actually works. Oh, don't want to do that. It's too dark over there. I'm going to bring the light through over here, though. You're awake. By the good, so be good for goodness sake. It's kind of how I create, isn't it, ladies? Put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. No comment from Jen. I'm going to add a little bit of white over here and mix to that cobalt turquoise. I'm just kind of mixing and adding and mixing and adding. Get a little bit of a gray tone of that. Coming. Ah, yes, the smash stamps into the molding paste. That's why you see that there. All right, so I'm going to take that satin again. This time I'm going to put it down on my palette paper here and take a piece of dried, or dry, not dried, I didn't dry it, paper towel. And I'm going to dip it into, and I'm just going to kind of start splotching a little bit. Because it is a little damp underneath, but I do want the effect that this is going to get into the molding paste that's there, but it's going to leave a little bit of a ridge in areas so that it looks a little bit snowy. At least that's the idea. It's a hint, it's an illusion. And I might add a little bit up here, although you're not going to be able to see it as well. There we go. That worked. The colors are getting there. Yeah, they're getting there. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. All right. I'm just trying to see about this angle brush here, and I think I'm going to add, where's my Payne's Gray? Payne's Gray. Was that Payne's Gray? I can't remember. I think it was. Yes, it was. Okay. So now it's the Lounge Christmas Oldies. Is that what's playing? So I'm going to mix the Payne's Gray and a little bit of that Pearl Satin. And just kind of start to define the roof here a little bit. I'm going darker on this side because this is a side, of course, where the light is not there. So you can see it underneath the white. Hopefully this is starting to look a little bit shaded in. I just got my fingies in the yellow, but that's okay. So we're getting there. I'm gonna take some of that satin. Whoops. This is what happens when you start mixing. You gotta get there, take that off. All right. Try to get a little bit of lighter colors in through here to define it a bit. The gold. These are some transparent colors, so they're very nice and they overlap and they're very pretty to use. So there is one thing, this is like the side of a house because although there's a window, there's no door. You can't get in. They want you to look in but not visit. So I'm just gonna highlight this window a little bit. I find that funny actually. Am I the only one that finds that funny? It looks like there's a light on. Perfect. So I'm just kind of shading that window a little bit so you can see it. And I'm just taking a different value of that Payne's Gray, putting it on and just kind of shading it through. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the roof. Take a lighter value. There we go. You like that, Eileen? Your kind of house? I am gonna find, actually I'm gonna ask Jen to find it for me so I don't have to let you listen to this. Can you find me a raw umber? raw umber. It should be in that pile. And I'm going to start by putting in some trees before I continue on with much more in the foreground, because I'm going to want to layer these trees a little bit. Remember, there's going to be a deer in front, so I don't want there to be too much, but I do want to make sure that this house isn't like floating anywhere. If that makes any sense. Here's my raw umber. And I'm going to take a wet angled brush and dip it in the raw umber. Kind of get it going, and just with one stroke, this is what I was doing on the weekend. With one stroke, just create some trees. One stroke hints. So if any of you saw my creations from this weekend's workshop with Kate Thompson, you'll see that my creations had these little trees in them, and this is how I did it. Nothing different than this. Do you have doors on the sides of your houses? Well, I'm just saying this is obviously not the front of the house. That's all I'm saying. We have side doors too, but apparently this one doesn't have it on this side. I think this will be good with the deer. Again, make sure that I've got some pigment on there. If you start on the bark, or what's going to be the bark, that's your darkest spot. You can always gauge how it's going to turn out. There you go. Today. I just stuck my hand in that yellow again. I should just take it off. Like, for heaven's sake. All right, so we're coming together. It's coming together. All right, I am going to take the deer that we have cut out of vinyl, just so that for those of you who have logged on later, who are not sure what we're doing, I am putting this in a shadow box. And this lovely deer, which is on, it's going to come out like that, isn't it? So he's going to be on here like that, on the glass. That's actually pretty good. I was worried about the proportion with the house. Not like I'm going for exact realism or anything with my white vinyl deer, but this is actually going to be okay. So this is turning out okay. I'm liking that. I don't need to do much more. I think actually what I might do is just do a little bit of white splatter. I'm going to dry this first so it doesn't blend in, and do a little bit of white splatter in the sky. We'll go from there. You like that, Eileen? So like a very basic background. I want to shade in a little bit more of where as I'm going to dry the top, I'll do the bottom here. Just kind of hint to like this is the umber again. So I'm just trying to hint with a fairly dry brush that there is ground. Catching the little bits of the molding paste. I'm glad you love it. Catching again the little bits of the molding paste so that you can see that there's something earthy there. Kind of define that space. Again, I'm not doing anything spectacular here. Big washes. Jen, I'm liking how this is turning out, kiddo. Ooh. I can't wait to see this behind the frame. Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh.
Do you like?
Yeah.
So we'll get some white splatters up here. I think I want to pull some of this down as well. So before I stop, I'm going to get the turquoise that I used in the beginning. Woo! Hello. Okay, this isn't good. I do a wet one. I need a wet one. A wet cloth. I just got paint on my sweater. Typical. So I'm just lightening it with the pearl because it's lighter on this side, but I just want to get a different hue here. That's good. Bringing that down, balancing that color. Is this the wet cloth? Yeah. Excuse me a sec, guys, while I dab turquoise off my olive green sweater. Oh dear. Should have wore an apron today. that end of the roll kind of thing, that end of the.
Is it coming?
It's sort of coming. Jen likes her shadow girl. Yeah, Jen likes her shadow box gift from you. That's what Eileen just wrote. All right. Give her a little dry again. So if I make this not Christmassy, I was thinking about putting like some Christmas lights or something on this little cabin in the woods. But I'm like, you know what? If I do it like just with a plain white deer in a wood, that could just be a winter thing to have all that. Karen, you should have tied me on today. Yes, I should have. I should have tied one on. Okay. That was bad, Eileen. That was just bad. Okay, so I'm going to take my brushes. All right. Just going to clean that off so it doesn't go all crazy. I'm going to wipe the section of my palette here and reapply some white satin pearl. And I'm just wondering, I need something more opaque there too. I think I might mix it with a little of my titanium white. That would be a good thing. If I mix it with the titanium white, it'll become a little more opaque because the pearl is very transparent color. So that way it's a little more opaque. And I said that already. I've got a wet brush, lots of pigment on it right now, and I'm just gonna tap, 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 tap. Wet brush, pigment. Get more on my sweater. Just kidding. Dipping. loading the pigment. I want more on there. I'm gonna just add a little more water to my palette. Maybe that'll help. I'm gonna switch brushes. Be better if I use the round brush. Yes. So unusual. La 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 la. Okay, anybody got bets on all the little dots on my computer are going to be on there tonight? Kevin, don't watch. Kevin's my husband, for those of you who don't know. I think I'm better off doing it this way. Okay. I know, tied the apron on. All right, I think that's good. What do you think, Jen?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Jen approves. All right, so I think I'm about ready to dry this off. I might even iron this out once it's dry, so that it'll lay flat. Remember, it is on watercolor paper. There it is. This is so pretty. I'm so glad you like it. I can't wait to get the white deer in front. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. I'm just going to lift this up so you guys can see it in the camera. So you see the patterns? Has to be trimmed anyway, so I wasn't worried about the edge. So there you go. So there's the I like. This edge has to be trimmed, as I said, so I'm not too worried about that. Because this is a little bit bigger than I needed it to be. And I did that on purpose, although I really like how this white line around it. It's very cool. And as it's drying, the paper's flattening out. Love all the texture. I do too, Sunset. I really do. Thanks, Barb. So this is going to go behind my frame. Jen, would you mind helping me out today and putting this on the back of the frame? So it's going to have to sit on here. So what I'm going to get you to do, see, that's where it's going to be. So I need you to cut around it so that it sits on top, so that this will sit on top of this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you don't want it in the frame. You want it.
That's right.
Like
But I also don't want to sandwich all that extra bit in, so it's going to need to be cut around. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys and Jen at the same time, so you know what I'm asking. Okay, does that make?
You want it sitting back in as a mat.
What I'm getting Jen to do, because this is part of the shadow box. Came out of the Ikea RIBBA shadow box frame. So I'm going to get her to center that onto my piece, and you can see that there's about an inch all the way around. So I just want to make sure that it's wide enough that it's going to go all the way to the edges, the corners, but not too wide that it's going to get, this is going to get in the way.
Bunched in the frame.
That's right. I don't want it bunched. So if we can just trim it to this, that would be absolutely perfect. Now this is a little wet still there. I'm going to dab it because it's just a piece of snow.
You're playing in the snow.
I'm playing in the snow. And while she's doing that, I'm going to kind of clean up a little bit in the sense that I don't want the paint to dry on me.
Did you get paint on my clean glass?
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need just the glass anyway. I got paint on my clean computer too. Don't tell Kevin. There we go.
Little white splatters.
See? This is looking very pretty. I kind of like this. Look at me. I kind of like this. All right, I'm going to trade you, Jen, for the glass. I just need the glass.
Okay, where do we want?
And here's the deer. Doesn't matter, because whatever side you do the imprints. All right, piece of glass. So what we've done is we took I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook or on my blog, you'll know that I made some Christmas cards for the Sea Cadets to write Christmas cards for the troops here in Canada. And I made a deer silhouette, a cut file with ScanNCut canvas, and we cut it out of wrapping paper and used that on our Christmas cards. Well, this is the exact same image. I just resized it so that it was about 5.5, just about 5.5, not quite 6 inches tall. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to cut this because it's driving me crazy. And sorry, not tall, wide. And although I did not use the Cricut, I am using their transfer paper because I had some of it lying around. They say I did use a ScanNCut. So I am going to, I made the stencils and I flipped it so that I could put the sticky side down so that when this was mounted in my frame, it would be the direction that I wanted it to face. And I really hope that you understand what I just said there. So Jen cleaned this piece of glass here for me. You see the nice reflection. Woo! So I'm just going to place my deer down fairly close to the edge, but remember there is going to be a lip from the frame, so you don't have to get it quite there. Actually, there is a grid to this, so I'm going to do it right on the grid. So I'm placing my deer down, and I am going to burnish this baby on. All right, let me just get something to burnish with. I don't see my Ranger scraper tool around here somewhere. I just used one today, so let me just go get it. What's that? Your pencil. All right, so I'm just going to burnish this down so that there are no air bubbles. We don't want air bubbles. So I'm kind of working from the center of the deer out. All right, see if I can. So when I take this off, oh, would you look at that? Ta-da! All right. So this is the direction in which I wanted it in my frame. And I have a little bit of something on there. What is that little something something? There's a little something on my vinyl. That's not good, but oh well, it'll be close enough. No one will notice unless you tell them. All right, Jen, how are we doing? All right, so here's my frame. Now I've got lots of marks on the outside of this glass, but it's going to be sandwiched in there. It's clean on this side. Okay, so let's put this in now. And then right side up this way. Jen, that was perfect.
All right.
For extra stability, I'm going to put the mat that this came with on there. And then the background piece.
You know, you should put this in there. That way you always remember the size you need.
Well, Jen's smart. Move the hang me upper
Yeah.
to the middle. And we're going to put that in right now. Well, hang me upper was not in a good spot. All right, are we ready, everybody?
Oh, wow.
So there he is. I kind of like that. I did kind of mess up the foot though. I think we might need to cut another one because this is going to be a gift and I want it perfect.
Yeah, he tripped on a rose bush.
He tripped on a rose bush. So from here, we could put a little bit of cotton batting and some rocks, perhaps. I don't know. Acorns, pine cones. Oh my gosh. On the bottom of the shadow box. What do you think, guys? Isn't that sweet? That didn't take a whole lot of time to do, did it?
No.
And I think that's really precious. See? So you have a three-dimensional look, and you have the shadow from the vinyl coming through from the ScanNCut reindeer there, or deer. I think that's so fun. What's Jen looking up?
Nothing. I'm continuing to work.
Oh, you just all of a sudden, Jen just all of a sudden kind of went, okay, that's nice, and then went to her computer, and I thought she was checking on something. Well, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some fun pine cones in the bottom there, and that'll be fun. Thanks for joining me with this, guys. I hope you like that. The pearlescent background, little stamped image, some hand-drawn trees, and it's all good. Thank you again for joining me. Again, it's Karen Ellis. You can find this. I'm going to post it on the Art House Studio blog. It's the arthousestudio.blogspot.com, but you can find it on the arthousestudio.ca as well. And join us on Facebook. I always post different things on there throughout the week, but I'll be back here again next Thursday, and we'll do something else. Perhaps we'll use something from the new Deco Art line, because that's good. We just got that in, the new Deco Art Media, and I can't wait to play with it. It's great to be with you guys too. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to turn off the recording now, and we'll chat in the live stream. But we'll see all of you again next week. Thanks. Bye, guys.